Cool, it's Mike from the Mike James Rock Show. We're sat in a van with Yashin. How's it going, gents?
Yeah, we're good, man. Thank you.
It's like the TARDIS in here, man. You just don't think we look nice.
It is, you said come and sit in the van, and you opened it up, and I was thinking there's going to be flight cases in there and all sorts of stuff.
No, got the full shebang, all the nightliner bunks in there with like
Sexy,
clubs
yeah.
and stuff. Yeah, it's good, man.
It's all good for short people, I guess.
VIP tour, yeah.
There we go, on the bus. It's been a couple of years.
Yeah, it has
Where
been.
have you been? What have you been up to?
We've been writing an album for the last 2 years, man. It's been literally that long, how long we've been writing it. Worked with like 6 different producers, rewritten some songs like 5 times.
Oh, blimey.
Just wanted to do the best possible album that we could do instead of just doing the classic churn out a record each year to stay in magazines and stay in the hype. We just thought, the reason we do this is to write good music, so let's just take our time till we're all happy. So we did that.
And you've blasted out with Dorothy Gale, which is a fierce song, man.
Yeah, first song back.
It didn't really start out that way, to be honest with you, Mike. It was a typical Yashin song when we first wrote it, and like Harry says, we worked with a number of different producers throughout this, and I mean, we're talking like not just guys local to us. Like last time around we recorded with Nick Scully, we had the album mixed by Justin Hill from Sixth.
Right.
And this time around we just went all out, and it was like, we're going to get a test mix. We got Terry Date to mix some of the tracks, who obviously done like your Limp Bizkit, Pantera, Deftones, Korn, Slipknot, the whole shooting match. So we ended up settling with a combination of Joe and Sam Graves from Inner Sound Studios, who recorded like You're Asking Alexandria stuff, and then had it mixed by Joey Sturgis.
Nice.
So yeah, it gave us exactly that sound we were looking for. It was crazy, just because like we kind of pulled a few strings in different places and like got a lot of favours and all that, and that's just how it ended up. But Dorothy Gale was a completely different song in its infancy. It had a different chorus. We didn't have Itch. We had a completely different section at the end of it. We kind of put our foot in the water with it on the Blackout tour last year, and it went down really, really well. And it was like, you know what, we need to come back with a bang.
And the video is violent.
There was
I wasn't expecting to see a video like that from you guys. It's like you kind of like the nice fluffy kind of.
There was question marks over whether they were actually going to show it on the TV.
Yeah, it's quite brutal. But that video was amazing to film. Like the guy who did it, like the stunt coordinator, fight coordinator guy, he'd worked on films like Gladiator and The Dark Knight and Batman Begins and Kick-Ass, so he really knew what he was doing. And we went in this warehouse for the day, and we all like trained our parts and had like stunt doubles teaching us how to do the sequences and things like that.
Videos and
so even you see little snippets of like really long sequenced fights. But yeah, it was an amazing experience. We did it with Sitcom Soldiers, and they brought in obviously like I said, stunt coordinators and professional fighters, and it was an awesome day, awesome shoot. It was a 2-day shoot.
Did you get injured at all though?
No, but when I was filming one of the the stunt doubles, there was like a big crane camera that came down, and he had one of the Renegades masks on, and he like backflipped off a car and then had to chase me. And when he backflipped off the car, he like landed and then stood up and ran, but he didn't see the huge crane, and he sprinted like full blast into the boom. So his head just split right open through the mask and just like absolutely KO'd.
Had to go to hospital.
Visually, it looked good in the video, right?
No, they showed me the footage of him just like sprinting into it.
He ran straight in at the camera, so you just see, it was like it should be on Field Tube or something like that, man, like one of those.
But he was a champion. He held it together well. It just bust open and just went to, I think he got like 4 stitches on his head or something.
Jeez, man. That's crazy. So what's next for Yashin then? More heavy? Because I think the direction now is awesome. It seems a lot heavier.
Yeah, well, I think Dorothy Gale's a sort of good indication of the direction that the band was heading in, and it's a reflection on the way we were feeling when we wrote the album. It was a hard time for us. We'd signed a deal with a label who didn't really share a vision with us, and when we started rewriting the songs and restructuring them, that's when we started to get interest from the majors, and that's when Sony kind of came on board and picked us up and took a bit of confidence in us. As for where the band's going from now, like the whole concept of the Renegades and everything else that goes with it, that's going to obviously kind of come to light at the start of 2016. The album's going to be coming out. Hopefully we're going to be doing a shitload more touring. It's been a really trying couple of years for us.
I can imagine,
So to get it back to the level where we're out touring with names like Skindred and Crossfaith and Head P, obviously like boyhood heroes, so it's pretty cool, man.
How's the show going down so far? Because you're pretty much halfway through the tour, is it, at the moment?
Yeah, there's only
it's like
3
3 shows left.
Okay.
It's been an adjustment, man. Like we've never really had to we've never opened a tour before except for when we first started out.
Yeah.
So it's really different for us. Going on sometimes 10 minutes after the doors open. So people it's a really odd vibe, but I think that it brings like out the best in me and Kev in terms of having to work way harder and like to connect with people that don't know us and things like that.
Well, people are outside in the cold and all sorts, and you just got to go bang straight in
straight into it to make people either move or be like, who is this band? This is pretty cool, So it's definitely been like quite hard, but that's good. It's been a challenge, but I think every night if I see by the end of it, if we have everyone moving or everyone doing what I asked them to do or whatever like that, it feels that much better, because we've been gone for so long, and to come back, we're gonna have strangers in front of us and people that have no idea who we are, which is good. But it's been a great tour. Yeah. It's been a great tour to be a part of, and it's been good to come back after so long to a challenge like this instead of just walking onto a main support tour in front of everyone just knowing who we are and doing whatever, So I think it's
building
a good way
it from the bottom upwards.
Yeah, it's definitely been an interesting experience in terms of our demographic. You kind of touched on it earlier on about how we've been the sort of like clean cut, typical sort of that sort of post-hardcore image that we kind of had coming out of sort of 2012 and whatever else.
You were the kind of the band that the girls that were more university girls were into than say college girls, whereas I'm guessing now you're just going.
Well, the thing is, I'm looking out and I'm seeing guys without stereotyping, but the guys that look like you, just kind of like banging. They've got the beards and the big stretchies and stuff like that, and they're all right in there, and it's cool, man. It's a completely new demographic for us, and we were concerned before we come on this tour that we've never really found a home. Touring with different bands throughout the UK, we always find that we're either too heavy for some bills or we're not heavy enough for other bills.
We've toured with bands like Black Veil Brides, but then we've toured with bands like Limp Bizkit. So it's like just people who give a shit about the internet and the scene and things like that, it won't sit well with some people. They're like, oh, what the hell is this, because some people care. Some people really genuinely care about that shit, whereas we just care about playing shows and music. But I guess that's what happens, with maybe younger generation or younger people and the internet. People always have an opinion and can, say what they want with no consequences, which is fine. But, Yashin are just here to play what we love and do what we love on stage
regardless
of who we're playing to.
And you found nowadays, literally in the last 2 years, that tour packages are being built with very different styles of bands to get new fanships in and things. Is this something you're looking at in the future? You're going to be going out with bands that you wouldn't normally put yourselves with?
We try to do it. It's very rare that we get to build a package as such, but a great example is we played a show for Relentless a few years ago. It was a house party in Glasgow, and they asked us to basically coordinate this night. We were going to headline, and they asked us to put together a package of bands that we wanted to play with. And we saw that as an opportunity for us to get the bands that we love. Now, Yashin as individuals are like chalk and cheese in terms of what we like in music, but on that bill we picked a band called Archies, who are an indie rock band from Glasgow. We picked Bleed From Within, who are obviously a far cry from what Yashin are, but we've got a lot of time for those guys, and they're great musicians, great band, and we picked a DJ as well, and we just kind of and obviously there was something there for everyone, and it was an over 18 show. Everybody was drunk. It was a great time, and I think that's a great thing, especially on this tour. Like, there's no other band that sound like Skindred. Crossfaith are obviously doing their own thing. Like, they've sort of brought that Japanese vibe over here. It's amazing.
That J-Rock thing's blowing up.
It's massive.
All over the place.
It's crazy, and they're great guys. And then obviously Head P as well. They've changed their style so many times throughout the years as well. So, and then you've got us holding the fort. So it's pretty cool, man.
Cool.
It's good value for money for folk. At 20 quid or 22 quid a ticket or whatever, you really need bands who are going to come in and give you a bit of everything instead of just four bands that sound exactly the same.
People want value for money, don't they? It's like you could have four bands all the same and you're not going to be able to tell which one's the difference.
It's hard, man. I don't know what it's like down here, but there's still very much a recession up in Glasgow, and people find it hard to kind of scrape the money together to get out to these shows and stuff.
We're on the edge of the West Country. The further west you go, like our hometown, money is hard to go by for selling tickets and things. It's a hard industry to be in at the moment. So it must be quite a struggle for you guys coming back after a 2-year break, because that 2 years is a long time to be away in the music industry nowadays, really isn't it? How are you finding the media treating you? Obviously, we love chatting to you, but
I guess like you said, we have been gone for a long time, but things you really do see. Me in particular, the guys all live in Glasgow, but I live in London and live in Liverpool, and I'm at a lot of these like whether it be festivals or shows constantly. I see a lot of like people in the media and friends and bands, so we know everyone, like just from being in the scene and touring or whatever, but you really do see the people who ultimately just want to look after themselves and push their name or push their brand or push their magazine. You know, you really do see the people who are genuinely your friends and genuinely actually believe the stuff that they say to you, or are genuine people. But just like any other industry, there's a lot of snakes in the grass as well, and they become really clear, especially because we've been gone for so long. People assume that, oh, Yashin are dead, whatever, they're doing nothing, or blah, blah, blah. But then as soon as ever, you know, we release it, we signed to Sony Records, then, you know, people start coming out the woodwork again. But yeah, man, like, there's a lot of, I don't know, we don't really pay attention to that. We know who we like, we know who, you know, when we hang out with those people, you'll see us with our friends and stuff at festivals and other shows. But yeah, I guess we're a bit more wary of this industry because we can see how, I don't know, how cutthroat it can be, and people can be.
It's quite manipulative as well, isn't it?
Yeah, and especially in the media as well. You know, like they're meant to be you know, the way I see it, like magazines are the ones that are meant to like nurture young talent, push push people that are coming up, and especially local bands and things like that. And then just you know, a lot of them don't do that. A lot of them use their voice on whether it be personal outlets like Twitter and things like that to tear bands down or new bands down, or like bands that are trying to do something positive, and then, you know, just shit on them for no, you know, just because they may not like their haircut or like the style or whatever. You know, that's a bunch of bullshit. And if we ever do meet anyone like that, we'll happily say it to them and just be like, you know, if anyone interviews us that I've seen in the past talk trash, I'll just be like, why are you here? Why are you even talking to us when you have had so much shit to say about us in the past?
I feel honoured then, because we always love you guys.
No, I'm not saying that about you, man. But do you know what I'm saying? Like,
exactly, yeah.
You know, and I just think I see it happen with a lot, like where I see like magazines writing like super great stuff, and I look at the reviewer and I'm just like, I've been with that guy when he's been, you know, slagging the style of music or with this, you know what I mean? So, but I guess that's life.
It swings and roundabouts, isn't it? As long as your fan keeps growing,
exactly.
We've
had, like Harry says, we've had a stigma to shake off, and it comes back to that image that the band's portrayed. We've been out with the Black Veil Brides of this world, who, and amongst our peers, have maybe got a lack of respect, which shouldn't be the case, you know. Like,
they're carving their own lane, and
exactly, they're doing their own thing,
everywhere.
Exactly. So Dorothy Gale was an opportunity for us to come out and do that and kind of shake that off and say, this is where we're heading, you know.
I'm looking forward to the album and other singles.
Oh,
and
videos.
And videos as well. If that one's anything to go by, then the rest
crazy.
are going to be full on.
The oldest songs which will feature on this album, when it comes out, will be 3 years old.
Okay.
So for us to have sat on that for so long,
that's a long
it's
time.
Just like we've started writing again already.
Like the skeletons have been 3 years old. Like we still have put brand new ideas on them, kind of thing. It's not like they've just been sitting in a warehouse how they are. You know what I mean? Like they
gathering dust.
Yeah, we've rewritten them a lot, but like the core ideas, like Kev said, are some of them 3 years old.
That's cool. It's been a pleasure catching up with you guys,
man.
Yeah, man.
Sure,
hopefully you'll be out on a headline tour as well, and we'll get to catch up with them.
Fingers crossed.
So, man.
Cool. Thanks very much.
Cheers.
Cool.
Thanks.
Cheers.